You don't lack ambition. You're wrestling a brain that always picks comfort first. If you've ever promised yourself a big change and then watched a whole week vanish into tomorrow, this isn't a moral failure. It's wiring. The brain protects energy, avoids friction, and grabs whatever soothes you fastest. That's why the couch beats the keyboard, the feed beats the book, and microwave wins against meal prep. Good news, you can flip the frame. Not with motivational speeches, but with mechanics, small levers that make starting easy, staying on track automatic, and progress visible enough to feel addictive. Let's get to work. 1. The comfort trap. Why your brain dodges big goals. Your brain isn't lazy, it's efficient, brutally so. When it scans a task, it's not asking, "Is this meaningful?" It's asking, "How painful does this look in the next 5 minutes?" A vague, oversized goal lights up threat detection. Too many unknowns, no obvious first move, no fast reward. So it routes you toward quick comfort. Scroll, snack, inbox, anything that gives a tiny dopamine bump with zero risk. Add perfectionism to the mix, and you've built a trap. If it can't be done right, it silently becomes not today. You've seen this cycle. Big plan on Sunday, micro avoidance all week. Then the story. I guess I'm just not disciplined. The truth is simpler. You're trying to sprint up a cliff in dress shoes. The slope, effort, is steep. The ground, process, is slick. And every stumble hurts enough to teach avoidance. So change the terrain. Shrink the slope so your brain says easy win, and stack obvious cues that make the next action frictionless. Before we swing hammers, notice one more thing. Comfort isn't the enemy. It's the reward engine you'll reroute. We won't fight dopamine. We'll make it work for you. Ready to tilt the ground under your feet? 2. Shrink the mountain, turning huge dreams into micro moves. Mountains don't get climbed, steps do. When a target is big, turn it into a chain of laughably clear micro moves with a finish line you can cross in minutes. Write a book becomes, open the doc and write one sentence that moves the idea forward. Get fit becomes, put on shoes, do 5 push-ups, log it. Learn guitar becomes, tune the top 2 strings and practice one chord change 10 times. 2 rules make this effective. First, define success as a completed action, not time spent. Write one sentence beats write for 30 minutes because completion triggers reward chemistry. Timers don't. Second, define the next micro move before you stop. End every session by writing a single, concrete next step at the top of your doc or notepad. Add one example to section 2. Record intro A, B. Email James one question. Your next start becomes plug and play instead of a blank page boss fight. To lock this in, track chains, not streaks. Streaks punish you when life happens. Chains resume wherever you left off. Visualize it. A simple grid on paper or app where each finished micromove earns an X. 1 X is trivial. 10 X's look like momentum. 30 X's feel like identity. The mountain didn't shrink. You just stopped staring at the summit and started collecting steps. And once steps exist, the next bottleneck shows up fast. Even tiny steps die if the path to doing them is sticky. 3. Friction and fuel. Make the right thing easy and the wrong thing hard. Behavior follows the path of least resistance. If your phone is the first thing your hand hits, your attention is sold before you're awake. If your guitar lives in a case under the bed, practice is a treasure hunt. So redesign the starting line. Put the first object in the chain where your eyes land and your hands go. Notebook open on the desk with the document already loaded. Running shoes next to the bed with socks inside. Water bottle filled and visible where you charge your phone. Create one motion starts. One motion and you're doing the thing. Then add speed bumps to autopilot distractions. Move social apps off the home screen. Log out each night. Set your charger in another room. If you edit video, block entertainment sites during your edit block with a single toggle. This isn't discipline cosplay. This is changing defaults so willpower never enters the chat. Pair it with if-then anchors that hitch habits to existing triggers. If I make coffee, then I write one sentence while it brews. If I finish lunch, then I walk 5 minutes. These anchors hijack routines you already perform and bolt a tiny move onto them. Finally, pre-decide your friction rescue for when life spikes. A 2-item fallback list you can do anywhere. 10 air squats, 1 paragraph read. The moment the plan breaks, you still bank a win. With friction lowered and fuel staged, you've built a runway. Now we need a spark that lights every time. 4. The 2-minute ignition. Beat resistance by starting laughably small. Nothing beats inertia like the 120-second promise. Commit to the smallest possible version for exactly 2 minutes, fully permissioned to stop after. Read 1 page. Clean 1 drawer. Outline 1 bullet. Hit record and speak 1 sentence. 2 minutes disarms threat detection. Your brain sees a toy, not a task. But here's why it works beyond the gimmick. Action changes state. As soon as you're moving, the cost of continuing drops below the cost of stopping. You're already in your shoes. Another 3 minutes feels free. You've opened the timeline. Trimming 1 more clip is obvious. To make this automatic, script your start lines in the imperative and stick them where you start. Open doc. Type title, sit, tune, G-chord 10 times. Open project, cut first silence. When 2 minutes end, you have 3 choices. Stop, still a win. Coast a bit longer, or switch to a related micro-move. Build a starter stack of 3 tiny tasks that can follow each other without thinking. Example for writing: 1. Add 1 supporting example. 2. Replace 1 weak verb. 3. Cut 1 sentence. Example for fitness: 1. 5 squats. 2. 5 push-ups. 3. 30-second walk. The stack avoids a dead end. You always know a next micro-move. Layer in a tiny instant reward right after the start. Favorite 30-second song clip. A check mark on a visible board. A short message to a friend saying, "Started." You're training your brain to associate "I began" with "that felt good." And when starting feels good, you'll start more often. Starts are in motion. Let's make staying in motion feel inevitable. 5. Ritual over willpower. Routines that carry you when motivation won't. Motivation is weather. Use it when it's sunny, don't rely on it when it rains. Ritual is climate. It's the fixed choreography you follow the same way every time, so your body begins before your brain negotiates. Design a pregame that takes less than 3 minutes and never changes. Water, timer, open project, 1 sentence aloud about today's target. Same playlist, same seat, same opening move. Your nervous system learns this sequence means we work now, and resistance shows up late to a locked door. Timebox your efforts in focused sprints. 15 to 25 minutes with a visible countdown and a hard stop, even for creative work. Short boxes turn ugly first drafts into standard procedure and protect you from perfection loops. End each box with a micro review. What moved forward? What's the next visible action? Where will you resume tomorrow? Write the next step where your eyes will land. Treat energy like a budget, not a mystery. Front-load your hardest block into your best 60 to 90 minutes of the day, even if it means smaller blocks later. Put low-cognition tasks, inbox, admin, after lunch when attention dips. Build a rainy day kit for low-energy afternoons. 2-minute ignition, starter stack, and a list of 5 tasks that keep momentum without brain burn. And codify your reset protocol for when you break rhythm, because you will. The first day back is one-step day. Single micro move, visible X on the board, early stop while it still feels easy. That protects identity. You're not off track. You're the kind of man who returns fast. Keep the ritual simple, visible, and repeatable, and it will carry you on all the days you don't feel like being carried. 6. Environment as a silent coach. Defaults that nudge you forward. Your space is either a treadmill or a trapdoor. Make the good path stupidly obvious, and the bad path slightly annoying. Lay out work-ready scenes the night before. Laptop open to the document, outline at the top, headphones coiled on the keyboard, or mat rolled out with shoes/socks nested inside, or guitar on a stand with a fresh pick taped to the neck. Remove hunting. Every extra micro decision is sand in the gears. Put tools in reach, obstacles out of reach, phone charger in another room, entertainment apps behind a long press or a lock code, TV remote inside a hard-to-open drawer. Use lighting as a cue. One lamp over your desk for deep work, overheads off. A different lamp for reading only. Label zones with single purposes so your brain builds place-dependent routines. This chair is where I write. That corner is where I stretch. Pre-batch inputs. A research folder with links already queued. Prepped meals for default lunch. A playlist that starts at the same track every session. Think of your environment like rails. Once the train moves, it can only go forward. If you wake up inside a pre-built scene that already contains the first action, starting stops being a decision and becomes what happens next. With the room doing half the lifting, momentum gets cheap, and cheap momentum compounds. 7. Momentum math. How small wins snowball into big outcomes. Progress isn't a straight line. It's compounding interest paid in confidence. The first day, 1 sentence is a firefly. 10 days, it's a lantern. 30 days, it's daylight. To feel that growth, count outputs that matter. Pages drafted, minutes moved, reps performed, clips edited. Post the numbers where you can't ignore them. Use minimums and ceilings. A tiny daily floor you can always clear, 1 micro move, and a soft cap that prevents burnout. Stop while it still feels easy. That pairing keeps you consistent without letting a single heroic day ruin tomorrow. Convert goals to rates. Instead of a book this year, commit to 1 paragraph per day, 5 days a week. Rates are controllable. Outcomes are lagging indicators. Protect streaks with half days. On chaos days, do the tiniest version. Log it and move on. The chain survives. Belief survives. Review weekly in 5 minutes. What moved? What bottleneck appeared? What single change would unlock the next 10%? Adjust the system, not your self-worth. Remember, momentum is emotional math. A visible upward trend reduces dread. and less dread means lower activation energy. Lower activation energy means more starts, and more starts create the wins that feed the graph. That loop, once lit, is hard to extinguish. 8. Make it feel good. Rewards, tracking, and visible feedback loops. Your nervous system is a bargain hunter. It buys whatever pays now. So make progress pay immediately. Pair every session with a small, reliable cue of completion. A physical wall calendar you X in bold marker. A progress bar you shade. A tiny tally counter you click. Sound matters. A short chime when the timer ends. A satisfying thunk of closing a notebook. A ritual line you say out loud. Banked. Build a micro reward you genuinely like and keep it short. A 30-second song hook, a stretch, a sip of premium coffee reserved only for after the first block. Track wins where others can see them if that energizes you. A shared screenshot of today's paragraph count, a green dot in a small private group. Gamify friction. One jar of beads for sessions completed, another for skipped temptations. Watch the didn't scroll jar fill. Show yourself before-after deltas, yesterday's paragraph beside today's, last week's pace beside this week's. Make quality fun. Keep a best lines or best sets page and copy the day's favorite moment there. You're training taste while you train output. The brain repeats what feels rewarding. Stack tiny pleasures around the behavior you want, and your habits will start lobbying for themselves. When action feels good, consistency stops being a fight. 9. Borrow discipline. Accountability, public promises, and tiny consequences. When stakes live outside your head, follow-through stops being optional. Set appointments with proof. Send a friend one photo at the end of each session, a page count on screen, a sweaty t-shirt, a time-stamped export. Join or form a micro-crew of 3 people with a shared check-in window. Post your start and finish. Celebrate the bland wins. Make public promises narrow and near-term. Draft Section 2 by 6 p.m. beats finish the chapter this week. Pre-commit tiny consequences with teeth you'll actually feel. Donate €10 to a cause you dislike if you miss 2 planned blocks in a row. Do your least favorite chore for your partner. Lose your Friday dessert. Keep it light, not punitive. The point is salience, not shame. Use body double sessions. Hop on a silent video call, say goals in 1 sentence, mute, work, unmute to report. The social presence reduces drift. Appoint a project witness, one person who knows what you're building and why. Send them a weekly 1-paragraph update. Accountability sharpens choice. In the moment, you're not deciding whether to be virtuous, you're deciding whether to keep your word. That identity pressure is powerful leverage, especially on low motivation days when a promise carries you across the start line. 10. Stall proofing. A relapse plan you deploy in under 5 minutes. Stalls aren't failures, they're unhandled scenarios. Write your bounce-back script now and keep it visible. Step 1. Compassionate audit. 1 minute to name what happened without drama. Sick kid, travel, bad sleep, overreach. Step 2. Shrink today. Pick the minimum viable win that fits inside 5 minutes. 1 sentence, 1 chord set, 1 clip trimmed, 1 email sent. Step 3. Reset the runway. Prep tomorrow's scene in 2 minutes. Open the dock to the right spot, cue the playlist, set out shoes, write the first command line you'll execute. Step 4. Protective rule for 48 hours. No trying to catch up. Only hit the floor goal and stop while it's easy. Step 5. Friction patch. Add one environmental tweak that would have prevented the stall. Phone box at 10 p.m. Shorter time box. Earlier block. Keep a bad day menu card. 5 tiny tasks per domain that count toward momentum even when you're foggy. And have a green light friend you ping with a single word, reset, who replies with the same. The aim isn't heroics, it's speed of return. The faster you re-identify as the guy who shows up, the less any dip matters. With a pre-built rebound, you stop fearing off days because you know exactly how to end them. 11. The 85% rule. Why good enough repeated beats perfect, rarely perfection, is a velvet-gloved brake pedal. It feels responsible, refining, polishing, holding standards, but the hidden cost is skipped reps. The 85% rule breaks that spell. Aim for work that's solid, shippable, and slightly under-polished, then ship again tomorrow. Think of a pilot. Dozens of safe landings matter more than one flawless touchdown a month. Define your good enough in advance so decisions shrink. One clean idea per paragraph, one insight per page, one clear progression per edit. Use thresholds, not vibes. Hit the checklist, publish, move. Train a 2-pass loop instead of infinite passes. Pass A creates structure, ugly is allowed. Pass B removes friction, cuts, verbs, transitions. Then stop. Quality grows with volume because patterns emerge. You learn what actually lands rather than what you imagined would. Keep a not now bucket so perfectionist urges have somewhere to live. Fancy intro, alternate color grade, bonus research. If they still matter in 48 hours, you'll know. Most won't. Remember, audiences can't engage with drafts stuck in your head. Consistent 85% output compounds into mastery, while 100% fantasies compound into dust. Ship the next thing, then the next. Excellence is a byproduct of frequency. 12. Time boxing and energy budgeting do the right work at the right time. Your day has peaks, plateaus, and potholes. Stop treating them the same. Put high cognition work inside your peak, 60 to 90 minutes. No meetings, no messaging, no tabs except the one you're using. Name the target deliverable, set a visible countdown, and give that block a single win condition you can photograph. Mid-energy hours get mechanical tasks, cuts, formatting, uploads, scheduling, inbox triage. Low energy slots are for maintenance and motion, short walk, light chores, gear prep, tomorrow's scene set. Protect the edges. A 5-minute warm start, open doc, titled Today's Aim, write one line, and a 5-minute cool down. Log what moved, write the next micro step, stage tools. Use budget alarms to prevent overrun. 2 chimes, one at 5 minutes left, one hard stop. Over-effort today steals clarity from tomorrow. For overload weeks, reduce scope, not cadence. Keep the daily rhythm, slice outputs thinner. Build buffer blocks as insurance. 2 floating 25-minute boxes per week to rescue slippage. Use them or convert them into practice reps. And when life blindsides you, deploy the half block. A single 10 to 12-minute sprint to keep identity and momentum intact. Time boxing makes work finite. Energy budgeting makes it humane. Together, they turn productivity from heroics into choreography. 13. Identity first. I'm the kind of person who, as a habit multiplier, behavior obeys identity. When you say, I'm trying to write, you've admitted a contested future. When you say, I'm a writer who ships daily paragraphs, your actions are just evidence gathering. Pick a one-sentence identity that maps to your goal and is provably small. I'm the man who shows up for one micro-move every day. Then collect receipts, visible artifacts that confirm the claim, page counters, export timestamps, sweaty t-shirts, a public log of two-sentence updates. Narrate your choices in identity language. Not, I have to, but this is what I do. Build identity anchors in your environment. A framed line above your desk. A home screen lock screen with your sentence. A calendar named after the role. When you slip, protect the identity with speed of return. I'm the guy who misses fast and resumes faster. Recruit a witness who reflects the identity back to you weekly. No coaching, just mirroring. And beware counterfeit identities, labels that sound grand but don't dictate behavior. High standards means nothing. I cut 1 weak sentence per page means everything. The right identity shrinks decisions, shortens restarts, and makes mundane reps feel like self-respect. You're not forcing habits, you're acting in character. 14. From goals to systems to story. Write the next chapter you'll actually follow. Goals point, systems move, but story sustains. Translate your outcome into a weekly system that you could keep on your worst month. Rate targets, block schedules, environment defaults, a reset protocol on the fridge. Then, wrap it in a story you believe enough to repeat. A 3-sentence arc you can say aloud in the morning. Sentence 1. Destination in plain language. I'm building a body and a body of work I'm proud of. Sentence 2. Method you'll actually do. Every day I log 1 meaningful rep and stop before burnout. Sentence 3. Reason with teeth. Because I respect the man who keeps his word. Put that story where it will ambush you. Mirror, wallet, notes app pinned. End every week with a chapter title. The week I learned to start ugly. The week I stopped checking my phone before writing. Titles make memory sticky and progress legible. Keep a living, operating guide doc. What works, what fails, what to try next. Systems evolve. The story keeps you aligned while they do. If a tactic fights your temperament, swap it. If it fits, double it. The North Star isn't a perfect plan. It's continuity. You're writing a long book, 1 clean page at a time. Make turning the page easy. Conclusion. Start small today. On purpose. Stage the scene. Promise 2 minutes. Hit 1 meaningful rep. Mark the X and stop while it still feels easy. Tomorrow, repeat. Protect the chain with 85% standards. Place your hardest work where your best energy lives, and let a simple identity choose for you when motivation won't. Systems carry the weight. Your story keeps you coming back. Do this quietly for a few dozen days and watch how "I'll start tomorrow" becomes "This is just what I do."